Do courts ever rule against an uncontested agreement if they think it's unfair?
This is a great question. I've definitely had cases both as a lawyer and as a coach where my client's like, I don't care, just give them whatever they want. I just want to be done. And that's understandable because divorce is not usually a pleasant experience. But you want to make sure you take a beat and really think about what you're agreeing to. So as far as a judge ruling against it, theoretically it's possible. So it depends on the terms of your agreement and the judge that gets assigned to you. Um, some judges may skim over the agreement and ask more high level general questions. Other judges may get more into the weeds and ask more detailed questions to make sure that you both truly understand what you're agreeing to, or to make sure that the agreement is in the best interest of the children. Um, for example, in Illinois, the non-child related terms of an agreement are binding on the court, unless the court finds them to be unconscionable, which is kind of like the buzzword, whether that's economically or otherwise. So if the court does find some of the agreement to be unconscionable, it might request the parties to submit a revised agreement, or it may issue its own rulings after it has a hearing. So let's just provide like a pretty clear example here. So let's say you have a 30-year marriage, no prenup. One spouse was the primary financial provider. The other was a stay-at-home parent and took care of the home so that the first spouse could focus on their career. And the stay-at-home parent hasn't worked outside the home in 30 years. And it's unlikely that they'll ever be able to be self-supporting after the divorce. So if that spouse in the agreement is waiving spouse support and the property settlement significantly favors the earning spouse, then the judge may have some concerns about that and could possibly find some of that to be unconscionable based on the laws of your state. So it really just depends, but it's got to be something pretty significant that's going to stand out to a judge.
What would be the steps? Somebody said, I signed a ridiculous deal under pressure. My head is now clear. What steps would somebody take? Is it talk to a coach, go to a lawyer, have them look at it?
I think definitely talk to a lawyer if you're having those feelings, because there are certain time requirements and deadlines by which you would have to move to vacate something like that, especially if you have signed it. And my understanding of the standard is pretty high to kind of undo that, which is why you want to make sure that you are really understanding what you're agreeing to and that you can live by that for the rest of your life when it comes to the property stuff. Now, the child related stuff, things like child support and the parenting schedule, those are always going to be modifiable. So it's like you've got a little bit of room to breathe there. But when it comes to property and dividing up assets and debts, that's that you want to be confident in what you're agreeing to.
As a coach who's experienced this, do you have clients that come to you like, I just want this over. I'm just going to sign this, where you have to tell them to pause and where to push back on it? Is that something that you see a lot?
Yeah. And I think, at the end of the day, everybody's got their line in the sand where no amount of money is worth continuing this divorce case and they just want to be done. So at the end of the day, they have to know where that line is. As a coach and or a lawyer, you really want to try to reality test some of that, and ask them questions that are going to be more forward looking, as opposed to just focusing on the present moment in which they feel very uncomfortable. But you want to make sure they're thinking ahead too of what are the ramifications of me agreeing to this, and how can we get creative to kind of make both of us feel good.
Yeah, that makes sense. And also this understanding that neither of you are going to be totally happy with the agreement. It seems like if you're leaving the case feeling like that, that's probably normal. But yes, talk to a lawyer or coach and
Mm,
make sure it's not egregious.
yes, that's always one of like the best ways to determine if your agreement is fair, is if both people walk away feeling a little teed off, but not devastated.
Let people know where they can find you.
Sure. I'm on Instagram. My name is at Kara Francis Coaching. And then my website is karafranciscoaching.com.